into the world, and men loved darkness rather than light, because their deeds were evil. Romans 8:7, verse 8. For the mind that is set on the flesh is hostile toward God. Hostile. It does not submit to the law of God. It does not submit. It can't submit. It doesn't submit. It won't submit. Where do you see free will here? For the mind that is set on the flesh is hostile toward God. It does not submit to God's law. And indeed, it cannot. It cannot. And those who are in the flesh cannot please God. Do you believe these things? Because if you believe what these verses are saying, the way I'm telling you that they are interpreted, then that would make you a Calvinist on this point. 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 14. The unspiritual man does not receive the gifts of the Spirit of God, for they are folly to him, and he is not able to understand them, because they are spiritually discerned. In other words, they are spiritually judged. I'm with you, Lori. I'm with you, sister. I'm with you. Ephesians 4:17 verse through 19. Now this I affirm and testify in the Lord, that you must no longer live as the Gentiles do, in the futility of their minds. They are darkened in their understanding, alienated from the life of God because of the ignorance that is in them, due to their hardness of heart. They have become callous and have given themselves up to licentiousness, greedy to practice every kind of uncleanness. Greedy to practice every kind of uncleanness. This is men that you say, so many of you say, have the free will to turn to Christ. They have no capacity to. If they live in darkness and Christ is light, how does darkness see what the light is? You can't. Stop telling people that they have a free will and they just need to turn to Christ. That's not how it works. They need to meet up with Moses and get exposed to God's law. Let Moses introduce you to Christ. Let Moses introduce you to grace through his law, and see how difficult and how impossible it is to keep and to obey. One brother says darkness cannot exist in the light, and that is so true. So if darkness cannot exist in light, how does someone in darkness choose Christ and choose life? You can't. You have to receive the light first, and then you are able to see clearly. The light must be turned on. When you go back to the garden in Genesis, when you go back to, not to the garden, but when you go back to creation, it says that the earth was without form and void. And then it says that the Spirit moved upon the face of the waters. And then God said, let there be light. I see this as the first time the gospel is ever presented in the Bible, in the opening verses of Genesis. The earth was without form and void. It was without form, had no form, and was empty. That is the condition of man. That is the condition of man. We are without form and void. We are empty souls, hollow shells, carcasses, if you will. But we were without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the waters. Meaning all mankind. If you think about it, every time you read, especially in Revelation, sea, like the ocean, the sea, it is symbolic of mankind.